Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Wolf and I'm joined by Impstar. How are you going?
I'm going pretty well, yourself.
I am quite fine, and today we are bringing to you, well, we first called it the DGN, which is Dominion Gaming News, but really, this is a rant. For fuck's sake, this is a rant. So, welcome to the new series of the DG Rant, which no longer requires more than two people. Now, each week, or each time we do this, there's just going to be a new topic. Last week, the topic was Battlefield 4, and what was it? Wow. I lost all... Oh yes, and the new Unreal Engine 4. And this week, we're going to be talking about something that we both hold dearly to our hearts, because it's just simply that awesome. And it is the announcement of the new Metal Gear Solid game. So, first off, let's just talk about a little bit about the trailer and what your thoughts were of the trailer.
Now, the trailer for Metal Gear Solid 5, which is called Phantom Pain, it has a lot of hints, and that's pretty freaking awesome. Like, usually trailers don't tell you a lot, but just show you how awesome the game is. But this one told us a lot in subtle ways, like how it's Big Boss, not Snake.
Solid
Yes,
Snake. Yeah, it's not.
yeah,
Yeah,
because of the eye patch
whatever.
and then this Foxhound again, which is awesome. I miss Foxhound. And what is it, Psycho Mantis is in it again?
Just from the looks of it, yeah. It's just
Yeah.
there's all these little hints. I know I said we were going to talk about this later, but speaking of little hints, there's many different things inside this thing. Because actually, let's talk about the history of it. The Phantom Pain was a trailer that was released months ago,
It was
and
called
it was just the Phantom Pain, and that's all
was
he
it?
got. Yeah, and then
I thought it was called Ground Zeroes.
that's something we'll talk about a little bit about later.
That's another trailer then.
Yeah, my brother and I, we've been talking about it and what our thoughts are on it. But anyway, so the Phantom Pain was just a trailer that Hideo Kojima released a few months ago at some sort of exhibition or whatever it is, and then Expo, that's the one. And so the Phantom Pain, yeah, it was just that, and it had these little notches coming off of the actual title of it, which, if you link it up in the same font, links up to be Metal Gear Solid 5. So that was kind of cool. But it was just originally it was just called that, but then they finally come out with this trailer very recently, which had the Metal Gear Solid 5 thing with it. So
So it kind of like faded in to where those notches were. And it was pretty sick.
yeah. And so the first thing I just want to talk about is this. Those of you who have played Metal Gear Solid 3, you may or may not recognize the flower that he is looking at. So, what is that flower? Well, that flower is actually was the field that Big Boss, or Naked Snake at the time, fought the boss at the end of MGS3. So that's kind of awesome, and it's when this was only known as the Phantom Pain, this was a reference to Metal Gear Solid as the series. So that was kind of cool. And then another thing is, you may not actually recognize this, but there was a doctor called Dr. Kiro Marv. I'll tell you a few things that he has done. One, he was the person who implemented the cybernetic arms into Raiden after the events of how he became into the cyborg ninja. So he got those arms from Kiro Marv did that to him. And he was also in, I think, MGS. I think it was just
Wasn't he the one who figured out how to make Solid Snake and Liquid Snake?
Yes, he was also the one who did all of that sort of things. So that's kind of cool. In the trailer, you see a very close resemblance to him and what he looked like in the codec.
But extremely pixeled. Like if he wasn't pixeled, that's kind of what he would look like. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So that's kind of awesome. But yeah, so one thing that you've actually noticed is this game looks freaking awesome. So
yes, it's
yeah,
going to be next gen consoles.
no, it's been announced that it is next gen consoles.
Has it? Oh,
Yeah.
That's the most news.
The Fox engine is the latest tech that Hideo Kojima has been using. Sorry for this picture being so low resolution, but it's really hard to get high res pictures of this game out at the moment. So just apologizing in advance. But some of these pictures are high res, some of these aren't. But yeah, the engine does actually look quite amazing. The weather effects are pretty sweet. Could you just talk about your thoughts on the engine and whatnot?
Oh, the engine looks beautiful. If there's a bunch of elongated gameplay trailers which have been done at expos. One's in the hospital the first couple of 5 minutes, and one's like a little pre-rendered thing. Well, oh, it's not pre-rendered, but it's constantly rendered. But it's automated. It's kind of like the trailer for what's it called? I'm blanking out here. Just a you talk while I think.
So
Aliens Clone Marines, the original trailer where they said it's in-game footage, but kind of wasn't. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it wasn't in-game, but it was what the engine could put out.
yeah,
And that was really cool. It showed him driving around in a car and calling a helicopter for no reason, which and that helicopter, the smoke and everything with the helicopter coming down and the rain hitting it, look beautiful. I'm really surprised what they can do now.
the engine does actually look quite amazing, especially with this picture here. Yes, it is all pre-rendered. I'm guessing it's not in engine. It could be in engine, but either way, it does look amazing. It's my current wallpaper. It's the picture of Snake in the rain with the night vision goggles in his snaking suit.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
It's kind of amazing if you can actually see the weather effects bouncing off of his gun, bouncing off of his shoulder, and dripping down his face. It is kind of sweet.
and that's pretty hard to do because usually rain is just a static moving picture,
Yeah,
and with the splashes and the ripples effect, that's another 3 layers of rendering it has to do because each one of them is a different animation, and it's pretty intense too because it's already. Keep going.
yeah.
you,
Well,
you know what I'm talking about.
yeah, yeah. Like it's just a lot more graphically intensive to have somewhat dynamic water instead of the static, generic sort of rain, which is just it goes down and it goes through things, and that's about it.
Hmm.
Like it would go through your body, but you can't really see that because hell, all you are is a first person. But anyway,
Yeah, and it's rain. So
yeah. So like it's just looking a whole lot better. We'll go into I guess the setting of the game. So Sam and I, we've actually talked a lot about this already. We actually sat there and picked the trailer apart piece by piece, like a few
we
weeks.
actually picked 2 trailers apart. First was the latest release one, and the one they called Ground Zeroes, which was a lengthy, it's kind of like cinematic trailer, which wasn't in English, but it had English subtitles, and
Yeah,
that was out for Phantom Pain, I think, when
yeah,
they announced it.
yeah.
Yeah,
The second one we're talking about is Ground Zeroes, which for some reason, my brother and I have talked about this. We think it's a prologue, sort of like the Shadow. What is it?
I get it. It's like a kind of like
The incident in MGS2 where you play a snake on the oil tanker.
yes,
It's like
yeah,
that before you get into the main game. That's what we think that it's about. It's going to be like a prologue to the events that happen
like
in.
why he's in the hospital, and yeah, it's going to be an
Yeah,
explanation of
that,
what's going on.
that's what we feel that it is anyway. So it seems pretty logical that way anyway.
And kind of makes sense too, like if you think about it,
Yeah.
because the trailer didn't specify why he's in the hospital or anything, and that kind of makes just like wonder. And like just if they started off there, there'll be like myths and legend of why he's in the hospital, what's going on. So they really need to do something leading up to being in the hospital.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yes.
Yeah. And so there's something that that they actually said in the trailer. I know this is going off a little bit off topic, but it was going to be Fox versus Fox or XOF Fox backwards. So
Yes.
like I think this is actually something that I'm trying to say something, but I can't think of it. I know that Solid Snake left Fox.
Fox Sound.
Yeah, Fox Sound, and so I'm wondering if this has something to do with with Fox in general and how it became like a bad sort of company, I guess. But yeah, anyways, that was off tangent. So talking about the setting, so we think, or I think especially, that it's set after the events of MGS3 and set before the events of MGS1. So that means that is before Solid Snake came about, as he is a clone of Big Boss, who was the greatest fighter of all CQC fighter of all time or something. So Big Boss is Naked Snake from MGS3. But anyway, but yeah, I feel that it's before that. You're playing as Big Boss, and I feel it's around the same time that Solid Snake and Liquid Snake is a thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because of the doctor, I can't think of his name right now, but the doctor in the trailer, because of that, and he's Big Boss is in a coma for 9 months. Maybe it's around the time when Solid Snake has just been created.
I feel so, yes. But also, I cannot remember. Can you clarify? Did you end up playing MGS2?
No, I've got to go back and play them because I'm going through MGS1 again on an
Okay.
emulator, but I haven't got up to number 2. Just
Alright.
I keep forgetting it.
Alright, well, there's actually a third clone, Solidus, who is the main bad guy in number 2. So I think, and he's like he's more like a big boss than any of the other two clones. I'm not sure, I cannot remember when he actually came about. Was it after the first two were made or something? But anyway, that's going off on a tangent. But let's just actually talk a bit about
Uh,
the Solid Snake and Liquid Snake thing and Big Boss. So actually, let's just talk about the hospital. So what do we see in the hospital, Sam?
well, you see a Union Jack picture, which Union Jack flag, which kind of says Europe-ish, but that can also mean Africa because some parts of Africa were parts of Europe and all that British colony and crap. And you see a couple of maps that I couldn't really make them out because the picture's always blurry because you see it through Big Boss's eyes and he's been shot or something. Um, you do see a couple of figures when the things start to heat up, when explosions are happening and stuff. And one looks like Psycho Mantis, an early Psycho Mantis, not Psycho Mantis from number 4, which was like a...
No. Sacramentus is the one that's in MGS1, and then
Yeah, but Psycho Mantis is in number 4 as well.
no, it's a different one. I think he's called something slightly different.
You sure? Because I'm pretty sure it was like kind of a rip-off of number 1. He's like a mini boss. He's going to corrupt your memory card, but you don't have a memory card because you're playing on PS3. It's kind of like that. You got to change disc, Snake. But wait, we're on Blu-ray. There is no disc.
That's actually something that I really love about Metal Gear Solid and what Hideo Kojima has done. They always break the fourth wall,
Yes, yes, they do. Yeah,
and it just makes for some comedic gold, I do believe.
yeah, and so yeah, Psycho Mantis is number 4. I think no, it's because after you defeat the girl one, remember? Like
Yes,
the
yeah.
ghost of Psycho Mantis comes and attacks you as well.
Yeah. Actually, if we just just quickly talk a little bit about that, I'm trying to find out. I'm just going to look for that a page that I found, which had a lot of information about this. So just talk bullshit for a second.
Yes. Oh, what else? Well, you also see that Big Boss, Naked Snake, whatever you want to call him, has lost a hand, and that it's pretty interesting because how you meant to shoot a gun one hand, but whatever. He's still got his claw, but it does look like he gets a during the trailer, it does look like he has a robot hand when he's riding the motorbike and having a cigarette.
I think
Uh,
he does actually get a robotic hand. That's what Big Boss does eventually get one, somehow.
yeah, but I like the detail they put in that trailer because like you don't get out of a coma after 9 years or 9 months or whatever it was, and just like walk around. He's struggling to even stand. And he try and crawl and making all these jokes about let's take the stairs.
Yeah, yeah. I was about to say. I was about to say the is the guy. The guy was like in the it was in the trailer. He gets out of the coma. He's crawling around, and then the guy who's with him, who we don't really know who he is, he's just helping out Snake. But he's like, "This is all right. We got to take the stairs, and then let's take the stairs." And then he goes over there. He's like, "This isn't gonna work. Let's take the elevator." It's just this.
And that's when a big explosion and some things come out and fire and whales and yes, it's
Whatever.
kind of weird.
Yeah, actually, it's something. There's something about this. There's always been something about Metal Gear Solid, just in general. There's this been whole under thing which isn't really talked about a lot, but it's just there. Like, for example, with Psycho Mantis being able to manipulate these things, and the Sorrow, and what was his
Yeah,
name? And the Fear from MGS3. They have these paranormal powers. Yet it's just not really talked about. It's just there, which I kind of really enjoy in the series.
oh, it is talked about, but it doesn't talk about like it's in the future where people. Pardon me for something.
Oh wow!
At the bell. Sorry. People have become telepathic, like in Looper. Looper's a good movie. Go watch Looper.
But yeah, it's
there's no backstory to it, but it's just kind of like thrown in there as like boss powers kind of things.
it's never really explained. It's just there and it's talked about, but it's never explained, which is something that I've always loved about it.
Yeah, because you follow the path of Snake, whoever the Snake it is, and it's just well, Snake doesn't really care. He just wants to kill it, so he doesn't need to know where it came from and why. It's just like, can I kill it? Yes, I'm going to kill it.
Yeah, and so just going back onto the thing that figures that he sees. There's actually 3 figures that you can sort of see. It's kind of weird. It's called. I wish I had a picture here right now to talk about it. But it's called Phantom Eye Syndrome, and basically what happens is when someone or something along those lines. Sorry if I got it wrong, but what happens is that when you lose an eye, sometimes you can still see things. You think you can. Your brain thinks that you can still see things with that eye. So, for example, there's 3 things that he sees. He sees Psycho Mantis in the fire. He sees Vol'jin, who is a main bad guy in number 3, and he sees Solid Snake in the sneaking suit, which is kind of weird. You got to really look at it to notice it and see the similarities in their costumes. But it's there, and if you know what you're looking for, it's there. It's kind of strange that you see these things. Is it a thing to say that this will be about Solid Snake and Vol'jin will be a part of it, and Psycho Mantis will show up and he's a part of this story? We don't know, but
I don't think Psycho Mantis will be a part of the story. I think he will be in there, but not as a part of the story.
Yeah, I know.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, but like, you know who Vol'jin is, right? The guy have you played number 3?
I haven't finished number 3.
Alright.
Yeah, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I have to go back and play them all, except for number 4, because I finished that like
number 4 was the first MGS game that I finished, and then MGS2 was the first one I finished. MGS4 I finished second because it came out after I finished MGS2. And then I got 3/4 through MGS3, and then watched my brother finish it, and then watched my brother play all of MGS1. I got through, like, I don't know, about a tenth of the campaign, of the storyline. So I know what happens in each of them, and basically what happens in each of them, because I've just watched either my brother or played them myself, and they're just really awesome.
Yeah, well, because I've been a PlayStation fan for forever, like, after Sega stopped making console, PlayStation was my next console. Never owned an Xbox. My brother has, but I've played on the Xbox and stuff. But I've been a big fan of the Metal Gear Solid, but they were just way too hard when I was younger. I kept dying and dying and dying and dying.
It's certainly a game that you gotta be going into with the right frame of mind and just be able to just play it and enjoy the experience because if you screw up and you're going for like a really sneak heavy style, well then you're gonna have to reload. And then something with MGS was that the thing was checkpoints you got. No, when you would always forget to save. And,
Yes. Oh my god.
and you'd have to go back to the checkpoint, which was, I don't know, like 10, 30... Oh, no, you would have to go back to your previous save, which was like 30 minutes ago.
Or an hour. Or 4.
Yeah, so I was playing MGS3 recently. I was going to replay it. I got 2 hours into the story, and then I get spotted and I die. I go back to the very start of the game. I'm just like, oh my god.
Yes, that's... No autosaves is a bitch. But it kind of makes you really pay attention.
Yeah, it's but anyway, we're kind of getting off topic here.
We're just talking about Metal Gear Solid as a whole.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So can you think of any other links? Oh yes, there's Ocelot, Revolver.
Oh yes, Revolver Ocelot in his duster and everything, riding a horse, which kind of
somehow becomes Snakes. And somehow you just see him riding in with a horse, and then like a few scenes later, Snake's riding the horse. Yeah,
and shooting a gun.
Yeah,
with
he's on the back. He's on the back of the horse.
Yeah, he's on the back of the horse shooting a gun with his claw.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just Ocelot shows up, and then who else is there?
Yeah, actually, we should mention. You reckon it's Ocelot in the hospital with him when he slips into the coma?
I think so, maybe. I get the feeling that there's the person on the left side. Actually, do I have this picture here? I do. If you see the person in the background, you'll see. I think that is Ocelot. He's wearing something similar to like a duster or something like that. And then there is Big Boss, I think, in the middle. Oh, it is Big Boss in the middle because he's got the scar over his eye. And then I don't know who you are. I think you're just some random guy, or maybe you're Solid Snake there. Wait a minute. That's something to think about. What if that is Big Boss in the middle there, and you're Solid Snake?
No.
No? You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Actually, yeah, because when he gets out of the hospital, you see that he's got a bandage over his eye, so yeah. Anyway. But yeah, so I think Ocelot is definitely going to be play a part in it, and he's definitely been a character that I've enjoyed seeing the development of over the course of the games. Actually, I think he showed up in every single MGS game.
Yes.
Yeah. He was just a part of the KGB I think in number 3, and then leaves the KGB or something. He just realizes he's working for the wrong person and leaves them. And then in number 1, MGS1, I think he gets taken over. No, in MGS1 he's just Revolver Ocelot. You fight him, and then later in the game you fight him again as Liquid Ocelot. And then in number 2 he's Liquid, and then number 4 he's Liquid. So yeah.
Yes, and that means Liquid Snake has taken over him.
Yeah. So basically, let's actually just talk a little bit about who Liquid and Solid Snake are. So can you sort of talk a little bit about them?
So Liquid and Solid Snake are clones of Big Boss. Big Boss was the original, or Naked Snake.
Was his code?
Yeah, was his code name. And then Solid Snake came around, and he's the one you play as and play as. Liquid Snake's kind of a bit eviler. He has no morale. He just doesn't see killing people as wrong, or something stupid like that. I can't remember.
He has no morale, but he's
morality.
Yeah, I was thinking
morale. That's happiness. No, yeah, he has no morality. He just wants to do what he wants to do. He doesn't want to listen to. He doesn't want to join the Fox Sound Company. He doesn't want to do anything. He just wants to make money and be rich. With the war economy. That's the big new thing they've been talking about a lot.
Well, that was in MGS4, but anyway.
No, because in again in Metal Gear Rising, which is not a Metal Gear Solid game, it's a spin-off. But they talk about the war economy again, but that's in the same era as number
MGS4.
4.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but yeah. So don't fall in the trap by Metal Gear Rising thinking it's going to be a Metal Gear Solid game, because it's not. It's a spectacle fighter, not a stealth game.
Stealth action.
Yeah, stealth action.
Actually, speaking of stealth action, MGS4 wasn't that much of a stealth action game.
Oh, it was if you could make it a stealth action
Yeah,
game.
you could, or you could just
Yeah.
make it as an action game. Either way, you could have a lot of fun.
Except for when you versed the mechanical wolf.
Oh god, that thing.
Because if you didn't, you were dead. That thing had a railgun.
That thing was just insane. I actually, yeah, no, there's certain things where you can, when you beat the different, the girls, the different girls, or whatever, the
Yeah.
Furies, the 4 Furies, or whatever they are.
Yeah.
They,
One's like wrath and one's sorrow and one's
no, Sorrow is, actually, oh yeah, they actually
No.
are called that. Yeah, they are.
yeah. There's like an octopus,
Yeah,
a
Who's
wolf,
the octopus? Yeah, yes,
Mantis.
Psycho Octopus, or whatever her name was.
and yeah, it's like an octopus.
She's a reference to Psycho Mantis. She's not in.
Yeah, and a bird. There was a bird one
Yeah.
because you're on a motorbike on that one. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, and then you fight her in
That's when you meet your
Meet Meryl.
your mom.
No,
Right.
your mum. Is it?
Oh, it kind of is.
Oh, she's the Ava. Is that her name?
I don't know.
She's.
It was the one that hooked up with Naked Spank. I'm pretty sure,
Yeah,
and that's why she's kind of your mom.
yeah. But yeah, no. I'm just getting fond memories of all the Metal Gear Solid games and just getting myself off the topic.
Yes, sorry. It's a game series that's dear to our heart.
So, and then talk about Solid Snake and who he is, and yes, bit about his history. I'll fill in the gaps if need be.
I think it's. Oh, let me see. Solid Snake was in number 1, right?
Yes, you play as him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, because I can't remember. I'm playing it at the moment, but I just can't remember. They're both pretty characters. Anyway, well, Solid Snake's his clone of Big Boss. He suffered. They changed his DNA so he ages rapidly, and that's why he looks a lot really old in number 4. But he's actually like 20 or something.
No,
compared.
he was like 30 or 40 or something, and then but he looked as old as 80.
Yes, he was actually dying. His
Yeah.
suit in that one was actually helping him.
Yeah.
Instead of just going invisible. But the members of Foxhound, well, members, ex-members, whatever, they've been members of Foxhound, which was a government-based military defense company, stealthing, shooting, killing people, normal stuff.
Every sort of secret agency.
Yeah, secret agency. And, because he was cloned to do a certain job, and then didn't want to do the job anymore. And then they kind of drag him back in, but he's still working for the government. It's a long story, and I don't think we have time. But you can try and paraphrase the whole story.
Well, okay, basically he's a clone, and then he does this whole thing at the Shadow Moses incident, which is where you find out about the whole thing in Metal Gear called Rex. Rex is a mech which basically shoots nukes. That's the whole idea of MGS. Metal Gear
We
Solid.
might want Metal Gear. Like the Metal Gear Solid thing was like a Metal Gear is a big giant mech that is it piloted? I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
The original Rex was, and then the first.
Yeah.
Then in number 2, you verse a piloted one, and then in the end they become unpiloted. But anyway.
Yes, well, like that. But yeah, that's the whole idea. Like there's big super weapons that are mechs. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
And so basically, the whole, he stops Liquid. I forget what Liquid was trying to do with Metal Gear, but he was doing something. And
He's
then,
always trying to do something.
Yeah, and then he beats Liquid. Liquid dies because of the fox die, which kills him. Fox die is like the rapid aging or whatever. So yes, and then
But that's not the end of Liquid. That's
no,
Liquid
no, no,
Snake.
no. That's just Liquid Snake.
Yeah.
And then somehow I forget how he comes into Ocelot or whatever, into other bodies or whatever. But anyway, and then in number 2, I do believe was the next one. He's no longer working for Fox, and Raiden is. He runs in. He actually runs into Raiden during MGS2 and says how bad Fox is. So, and he's just like saying, he's just like, he doesn't actually say it outright, but he hints at how Fox are a bad company or whatever. And so yeah, he's in that, and then MGS4, he's like old or whatever. See, I can't really paraphrase it because I can't even remember half the stuff. You'd be better at it when you're finished playing the game.
Yeah, when I finish it, it'll be easier to paraphrase. So look out for Lore of Soul Snake.
But yeah.
It's an hour-long video itself.
Oh yeah, no, it's several hours. Just letting you know, several hours of awesome. And then so
much timing.
we've talked about the engine, talked about the links to the past. We've talked actually very little about what we think the game is going to be about. We'll do that.
I'm not really sure what it's about. I'm kind of guessing what the time zone is, like
time period.
Yeah, and where it is, and
well, I think it's actually during the Korean War. Somewhere around then, in the 50s or no 60s. Yeah, Korean War was 60s, early 60s. Think so.
something like that. I don't know anything about the Korean War really.
Anyway, it's I think
I only know there's MASH. That was it.
and that's not a positive. It's not really a legitimate representation of how it was.
No, I'm just saying MASH was in there somewhere.
Yeah, Anyway, so I think it's going to be set around the Korean War. Maybe actually it could be 70s.
I don't think it's in Korea.
No, I don't think so either.
Because you see American flags and all that, but I've got a suspicion it's going to be in like the Middle East kind of area.
I disagree. It's definitely around 60s, 70s, and Middle East would have nothing to do with of any of that.
Yes, look, this is a different universe. I mean, there's no mechs in this universe, but I know like the history is kind of the same.
Don't they actually talk about Cuba or something in the trailer? I forget. Did they mention Cuba?
No, yes. They said it's only a short flight to Cuba, so that's where South America. That's where I reckon it was.
Yeah, and they're planning to do something against the US, I guess.
Yes. So it's either in America or near South America.
Somewhere around there.
Because it said it was only take half an hour in a helicopter to get to Cuba and back.
So what if it's during the Cuban Missile Crisis?
Oh, then that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that actually ties up pretty well, because the Cuban Missile Crisis was directly after the initial, what MGS3 was, which MGS3 was set in 1952, I want to say. I'll just quickly Google it now. Metal Gear Solid 3, done. Wikipedia, be my friend. But yeah, it could actually be directly, like, a few years after MGS3. So MGS3 is set when, set in the Cold War era, Soviet Union, yada yada yada, 1960s.
Yeah.
And then when was the Missile Crisis? That was the late 50s, wasn't it? Or was that late 60s? Google, be my friend.
Remember.
Cuban. Missile.
I know what the Cuban Missile. I just can't remember dates.
Yeah. Wikipedia, be my friend. It was early 60s when it happens. It was a 13-day. 13-day confrontation between the Soviet Union and Cuba on the side, and the United States on the other. In October 1962. So,
Yes.
So it could be around the Cuban Missile Crisis, which I think, yeah,
Which would make a lot of sense because
yeah,
that would be the perfect time to use uh, superpowered mechs
yeah,
that can
yeah,
shoot missiles.
exactly.
I
Like
mean,
I know that Metal Gear Rex was like one of the first ones, but it wasn't the first. Shagohod, which was the one in number 3, was essentially a Metal Gear, but just wasn't called a Metal Gear. And so yeah,
hmm.
it would actually fit really well during the Cuban Missile Crisis. I wonder if that's where it's at, when it's actually going to be.
Now we got this like we think we saw Raiden as a child in the
Yes,
Ground Zero trailer,
yes,
and we're not really sure because I kind of watched the trailer a couple times and I had to read subtitles because it's all in Japanese, I think.
but then again, could that be Solid Snake? You
I
also
don't know. He unplugs something from his chest and then plugs it into um,
like a
like a
like an audio jack into
uh,
an iPod or
yeah,
something, essentially.
yes, from his chest. And it kind of says robot to me.
Yeah, so I don't know. It could be a duffel war orphan, but anyway. Wait, oh, probably
Yeah,
shouldn't.
it could be just like a war orphan, but like,
Yeah,
uh,
there is
why
a
would they focus on that one kid?
yeah. I think that
I
one
mean,
he has to be
it
someone.
was a yeah, it was a 2 minute bit.
Yeah.
It was this kid in this
Um.
cave with blonde hair talking to this guy who looked like Lizard from Spider-Man.
Actually, no. I think that could be Vol'jin because if you know how he has the cowboy hat on or whatever, and he's got this cracked skin. That's sort of what Vol'jin looked like in MGS3.
Ooh. I asked you if you knew who that was, and you didn't say.
I know, but I'm getting. The more I think about it now, the more I believe it actually is true. So, yeah, you're just googling Vol'jin to see what he looks like. Because I really
Yep,
reckon it
I did it.
could be him.
Oh, that's why I can't.
Yeah.
No, no. Hang on. Yes, definitely could be him.
Anyway, but yeah. So, do you reckon
I
you've got?
mean, like, not at that high density. Hey, it's definitely that dude.
It has to be, right?
Yeah, like, I mean, it's just not at the high resolution
Yeah.
custom skin looking like Voldemort from
Fox
Harry
Engine,
Potter.
Fox
Fox
Engine,
Engine.
BS
Yeah.
like that. Yes.
It's like, that's the one thing that's really difficult. If it's not from Metal Gear Solid 4, it's really hard to translate from Metal Gear Solid 1 and all that to the new Fox Engine, which is like high resolution details. As long as if they don't have any identifying marks, it's kind of difficult to actually tell if they're them.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we know it's Big Boss because eye patch is on the right side, and
And also, he's got the scar down there as well.
yes, and the Solid Snake doesn't wears an eye patch, but
Actually,
yeah.
I think I found the that website I was going to talk about with the different links. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, that's really we think it's going to be around Cuban. Actually, now that I think about it, it could be around the Cuban Missile Crisis. I reckon
Yeah,
that's
it's probably yeah.
has to be. But
Yeah.
wait, actually, if you think about it, if this is around when what's his name was when Solid Snake was a thing, when he just started being a thing. What if that means he would be 50 odd by the time? No, he would be even older than that by the time MGS 4 is around. So yeah, I don't think it'll be around then anymore if it's around the Missile Crisis.
I'm not sure, but he still looks a lot older than 50. Like, I mean, he looks about 100.
He looks insanely old, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just hard to say, really, because we don't know all of the different things about it. So I don't know.
Yes. We're not like
We
we
just
played him, but it's been a while.
yeah. Really, all this video is just
Our
hypothesizing
speculations
Yeah.
and what we
what
that's
yeah, what we think about from what we've seen in the trailer or whatever. So, we talked a little bit about Ground Zeroes, about it being a prologue. Actually, no, you know what? I was going to lead to nothing, so I'm going to stop myself right there. Is there anything else that we could really talk about that you can think of?
Um, no, I'm just 1972. That's when Solid Snake was born.
Okay.
Sorry, I just had to.
Google is your
He
friend?
was 42.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Actually, week is one. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe because you said that Ground Zero was the prologue, right?
Yeah.
Now that had the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Ah.
Now, if it was 9 years after that,
Yeah, 'cause
then it will be
So yeah,
1970 something.
it'd be 19.
So it could be
It'd
like,
be.
at the time.
Yes, you sir have the brain to think about these things. So the prologue, Ground Zeroes, is set in the Cuban Missile Crisis, right? And then the actual game, Phantom Pain, is set
So,
in
like what I said
1970.
was,
Yeah.
it's Big Boss's story during the events of Metal Gear Solid 1 or something.
No, yeah. Wait,
Because that's Solid.
when was MGS1 though? That was set in the 90s.
Oh, no.
So he was like 20.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it.
It's like set.
Ah,
It's set
forget
in
that.
1992. I think that's when the Shadow Moses incident occurs. Is 1992.
Yes, it's Shadow Moses, yes.
Yes. Anyway,
No, actually, I know what the Shadow Moses is. It's kind of surprising.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think that So that's actually really, really awesome because he didn't they say he was in a coma for 9 years, not 9 months?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 9 years, and I think pregnancy is 9 months.
Yeah. So you got something a little. You may have gotten something a little bit mixed up there. But yeah, no, that actually makes perfect sense now. That it's set there, and then
Yeah, so like the prologue, where he gets shot and where that all happens is during Cuban Missile Crisis, of course. And then skip to coma, skip to 9 years later. Dr. What's His Face has made
Kiramov.
Solid Snake. Yeah, has made Solid Snake, and Big Boss comes out of his coma.
But yeah,
That kind of makes sense.
yeah, it makes sense. But as we just said, we can only speculate. We can't actually confirm anything.
Yes, this is all speculations, and nothing has been confirmed or denied.
Yeah, so it's just
Except for it's Metal Gear Solid 5.
yeah, except for
And
that.
it's starting around again.
Oh, I can't really hear it. So what was I going to say next? Okay, so what were your final thoughts on one, the trailer, and two, what are your final thoughts on just the game as a whole, and and stuff like that?
My final thoughts is the trailer is excellent, especially the flaming whale that comes out and eats a helicopter. Was it a helicopter or a plane?
It was a helicopter. It
No,
was,
I'm serious.
it's,
In the trailer, if you don't believe me, go look it up. There's a flaming whale, like a blue whale, jumps out of friggin' the ocean and eats a helicopter.
it's kind of crazy. Like, really kind of crazy.
But, like, you expect that stuff, so
Yeah.
it's a big thumbs up for me. Trailer is great. Ground Zero trailer is also great, especially because you see the weather effects really up close and you understand what the Fox engine could do. I'm not saying it will do that, but it can do that.
It will do that because
Yeah.
Generally the MGS series have looked really great. I remember seeing MGS 3 a week after its release and going, wow, that game looks amazing. And then seeing MGS 4, wow, that game looks amazing. And
Yeah,
at the time,
especially-
they looked really sick. So I definitely think the Fox engine will be able to put out, because, it just...
It will, but I'm not sure if they'll actually do it for gameplay.
I could say.
Because
Yeah, but what we've only seen is expo footage and
like
stuff, so it's kind of
yeah,
hard to say
pre-rendered stuff.
what
So
the final stuff is.
yeah,
But the cinematics will look beautiful in that much, because
yeah.
they always do.
Oh yeah, just
And Metal Gear Solid 4 was a movie,
yeah.
really,
I was about
which
to.
I was okay with because it was excellent.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if you go into a Metal Gear Solid game thinking that you're gonna get awesome stealth action gameplay all the time, you're gonna be wrong. Because especially in MGS 3 and 4, there's a lot of time where you just sit there watching epic cutscenes after epic cutscenes, and then you actually but in MGS 3, it's mainly the occasional epic cutscene with hour-long codec communications, rather than in MGS4, it's just epic cutscenes for an hour. Like seriously,
Oh yes,
if you
those cutscenes are great though. Like
if you
there
if you
was a cutscene about cooking eggs, and it was excellent.
yeah, it was kind of excellent.
You remember that bit?
I think so.
Where Snake teaches
Yeah,
teaches the young girl how to actually cook eggs.
it's yeah,
That
that
was
bit,
kind of that's a touching moment, I think.
yeah.
Oh, I should play that game again. I'm gonna get it. Well, I'm gonna go buy it again.
Oh,
I want to play it again now.
but no, it's just
Oh.
something that MGS is just touches it reaches out to
Yeah, everything in that game is perfect.
It
really.
just-
Like, I don't even care. It's long cutscenes. It's a good story.
yeah, I know. A lot of people actually, I know this is completely off topic, but a lot of people rate games really highly just because of their story when the gameplay mechanics are kind of terrible, which is Total Biscuit essentially saying that that's a thing, which I agree with. But anyway, but yeah, sorry,
Yes,
sidetracked.
but it's you gotta have a mixture of two. Like,
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid. It's like, people didn't like Metal Gear Solid 4, and I'm not sure why. I think that because they said, "Oh, it's too much cutscenes, not enough play." You know, like there's multiplayer.
Yeah,
If you want to play freaking everything, go play multiplayer. It was total garbage, but
yeah.
it's
Actually,
still multiplayer.
the multiplayer was actually a lot of fun in MGS4. I really enjoyed myself. The only reason why I didn't play it more was because you freaking had to wait like
Oh,
20
it was
hours to do an update. Like the updates took forever, and then they would fail half the time, so you would have to do them again. And then once you uninstalled
No,
MGS4,
you know what was worse?
say again.
It was actually getting into the multiplayer. The
Mm.
worst thing in the multi was getting into the multiplayer. That was a fucking pain in the ass. I remember spending 3 days trying to get into the multiplayer. I can't even remember why now, but
Yeah, you had to make like a
that
different.
was
It couldn't. It wasn't able to be linked.
you have to make like 3 accounts or something.
Yeah, you had to have your PSN, you had
Yeah,
to have the Konami thing, and then you had to have like some other thing, like login for the actual game. Why couldn't they just be the one
Yeah.
thing under your PSN? I don't know, but whatever. Anyway, so
It
yeah.
was so ridiculously stupid. Yeah.
Any other? Sorry, just any other closing
But that's
thoughts?
the thing, and I said that's the trailer. The Fox engine looks great, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. Not what it can, like we can see what it can do, but I want to see what they do with it,
Yeah.
like in actual game. And I can't wait to get my hands on this because we've been waiting for a Metal Gear Solid game forever. And Metal Gear Rising doesn't count because that's a spectacle fighter, and I suck at those.
Well, yeah. Just my closing thoughts on this is that the game looks like a lot of fun, and I mean a lot of fun. Like already, I'm going to see myself spending like at least however long it takes to finish the game in my room, locked away, not doing anything. Like I know this game's going to be so far away. It's like, or probably next year. No, it is next year, I do believe, or it may be a launch title for PS4. But anyway, either way,
I'm gonna have to.
it's a long way away. It's a long
I can't cite Killzone or Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid. If you had to choose
Yeah,
one,
well, if it's a launch time.
if there was a launch title and you had to choose which game you're going to get with the console, well, obviously Metal Gear Solid. It's a superior
Yeah,
game.
obviously, because that's gonna. Yeah, definitely. But if it's like, what would I play first if I had them both? Like, I would play Killzone because it's a shorter game. Just,
I would play
know
Metal
what I
Gear
mean?
Solid because it's a superior game.
yeah, the thing is, like, I'm gonna play. If I had both of them, and they're both launch titles, and you got both of them with the console. Now, and you wanted to play them both equally. Now, which one would you play first? Well, obviously you played the shorter game first because that means you played the other game sooner, right?
I guess. Anyway,
That's what I'm saying. But Metal Gear Solid hasn't been announced as a launch game.
no. It's just has been announced that it's a thing. I think
Yeah, it's been announced and it showed what they've done.
it'll come out after the launch. I do believe. But anyway, let's talk about what was I going to say? Oh yeah, it's closing thoughts. So yeah, it looks great. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Even though that's going to be a long time away. I love all the connections to the older games, to the newer games, and all of these things. It's looking really excellent, and I just honestly cannot wait. It's going to be kind of sick like that. Favorite thing from the trailer? Go. Just favorite one thing.
The whale.
The whale? Yeah, that's probably mine too. I really wish.
It's just so out there. It's like
it
fits perfectly. It's so out there. It fits perfectly.
I remember saying to you, "Is like, have you seen the flaming whale?" And you're like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, go to this time." He's like, and then you just started cracking yourself laughing on Skype. It was kind of amazing. But anyway,
it was a whale. It was like, yeah, whale eats a helicopter. It was on fire too. Deal with it.
you heard it here first. MGS5 has flaming whales. Buy now on pre-order now at your local store. Oh, jeez.
Don't pre-order. That's a bad idea.
Apparently, it's MGS. What's not to love? Maybe
Stop
that's,
pre-ordering games.
but it's MGS. I'll pre-order what I
Yeah,
don't
I
like.
know, but
I'll pre-order games that I know are going to be great. Anyway,
don't pre-order licensed games.
okay, that's more like that's better. All right. Anyway, I'll just any last words you would like to say before I do my outro?
If you haven't played Metal Gear Solid games and you've got like a Xbox for some reason, get an emulator like the PSX and play the first three, and then just buy a PS3 and play the last one. It's epic. Just do it. You owe it to your children.
So basically, you owe it to your unborn children if you don't have kids to play these games.
Yes, because then you can pass them down, and then they get to play them, and the whole cycle starts again.
Sounds reasonable, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
My name has been Wolf. I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching this very disjointed rant. I was thinking it would have more structure like the last one, but hell, it didn't. We just went off so many tangents and then started talking about things that yeah. It just wasn't going to work.
My fault.
Oh, wait. One last thing I was going to say. To confirm the whole thing about the theory about Liquid and Solid Snake being a part of it, being a part of the story, it says two phantoms were born during the trailer. So,
Definitely.
yeah, so it's linking that all together. I can't believe I forgot about that when we were linking that to the trailer. But anyway, I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching. My name has been Wolf. Say goodbye.
I've been Impstar.
Thank you very much for watching. See you guys next time. Peace out.